Hey, welcome in. I'm back. 3 days off. Glad to be back. Full show on Friday. A lot to talk about. Arrests at OSU. We'll start there. A Jewish citizen of the campus area tells his story to me, and I'll share with you. A coup at the White House. Could Karine Jean-Pierre be out? Oh my. That and more. Looking forward to it. We're in commercial, just about to come out right now. Hey, welcome in. Friday edition, Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. I am back and glad to be back. No worries. Everything good medically. MRI came out good. Ready to start another round of treatment, but all is good, and I'm glad to be with you guys. We have a full Friday, and we will start with the world coming right here to our doorstep. The crazy Palestinian moron students who either have not availed themselves of the video online of the October 7th Hamas attacks to educate themselves. I mean, they're on a college campus. Why would they want to educate themselves about the horrific deeds done, bragged about, cheered, publicized, extolled by people who share their view that Jews should not exist? That's come right to our doorstep, to the South Oval at Ohio State, where last night the Ohio State Patrol moved in, good for them, and cleared the scene. Got about 20 arrests. Anybody who's out there doing that, if you're not complying with police officers, doing exactly what they tell you to do when they tell you to do it, well, fool around and find out. And I hope you're handcuffed. I hope you're arrested. Of course, nothing will probably happen to you here in Columbus, Ohio. And as proof of that, I had the opportunity yesterday to make connection with a person who lives in the campus area. I'm going to try to be informative on what he told me without betraying his anonymity, so that the last thing in the world I want to do is make what has already been a very difficult last 4 months for him more difficult. But I'll have some personal detail on what it's like to be a Jewish citizen in the area of campus. This bubbled over in the last couple of days, where we had, I think, 2 people arrested the day before. One of them, of course, was a journalism student, and one of them was a climate activist. Yes, register your shock with mine. So last night, the cops showed up. You were not allowed to congregate on the Ohio State campus. You are not allowed to, unless you have a permit, you are not allowed to camp on the Ohio State campus. And so around 8 o'clock, a half hour after police officers said that the area needed to be cleared in 10 minutes, around 8 o'clock, the demonstrators started to step up their game. And they decided to make more noise, be more unruly, not comply. And so at 11 o'clock, you say, wait, that's 3.5 hours after they were given 10 minutes to disperse. Yes, 3.5 hours after they were given orders to disperse, the police finally said, okay, enough of this, and they moved in and they started arresting people. Now, we do have the right in this country to peacefully protest. On the left, you have the right to burn down police headquarters and break store windows and murder people who come to the aid of friends who own pawn shops, at least if you're in St. Louis. And David Dorn, the retired police officer, is there to guard his friend's pawn shop. But here in Columbus, this is a different world now with Ted Carter as president of Ohio State. I can't say that for certain because he hasn't been here very long, and this hasn't spiraled to the depths that it has reached at NYU, Yale, Georgetown, Northwestern, Columbia. So we'll see as time unfolds what Ted Carter's made of. I'm hopeful that Colonel Ted, former Top Gun pilot, will be strict, fair, and decisive in his actions. But I'm amused at the ludicrous nature of some of the things that the people say who are behind these protests. As I say, first of all, if you can sit down and watch any of the video, and I have not, honestly, I have not watched detailed video of what Hamas did on October the 7th, but I have seen enough women pulled out of vehicles or off motorbikes with visual evidence of what Hamas terrorists did to them. And again, I'm trying to keep this clean. You might have kids in the car, but with clear, apparent visual evidence of what Hamas terrorists did to them. I have read enough stories from independent journalists to know that any woman, any female student who is protesting for Palestine, you are soulless if you are doing that. I mean, you really are soulless. There is no moral equivalence between what Hamas did and what Israel is doing in defending itself from people who say in their charter, Hamas, that they want to exterminate all Jews from the face of the earth. Now, I just said that if you're a student and you're a woman and you are supporting then I hope Ohio State finds a way to get rid of you. So I'm talking about you, Amy Schuster, OSU philosophy professor and a member of Jewish Voice for Peace in Central Ohio. The Dispatch quotes her saying, she and other members of her Jewish Voice for Peace in Central Ohio want to spread the message that, pay attention, pay real close attention to the message they want to spread. Amy Schuster, OSU philosophy professor. So she's got a worthless degree. She's probably got a couple worthless advanced degrees. She's living a good life, drawing a big paycheck, not talking about reality, not teaching reality, not living in reality, living in philosophy land. Maybe she can open up a philosophy store. But here's the message that she and her other nutcases in Jewish Voices for Peace in Central Ohio want to convey. Jewish safety is absolutely bound up with the safety of the Palestinian people. Let me read that again. Jewish safety is absolutely bound up with the safety of the Palestinian people. I'm confused. Maybe you're confused. Maybe you've seen Arabs, Palestinians, people advocating for the extermination of Jews. Maybe you've heard enough about the Hamas charter, which says that death to the Jews is their goal. Maybe you've heard the from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free. They got to get rid of every Jew, right? And then she, Professor Schuster, who says she's a member of the Jewish Voices for Peace, then says that the organization she's a part of wants to spread the message that Jewish safety is absolutely bound up with the safety of the Palestinian people. I'm having a hard time squaring how, if the Palestinian people are safe and are allowed to flourish and fulfill their mission, which is to eradicate Jews from the face of the earth, how that's good for Jewish safety. I'm a little confused. Maybe I don't do a good job of explaining it. So let me bring to you the voice of the leader of the student protests at Columbia. His name is Kamani James. Kamani James makes it very clear. Maybe if Kamani James spoke directly to Professor Amy Schuster from Ohio State, she would figure out what his objective is, because here he is clearly stating it. Doesn't sound much like it. He made these comments in January on a Zoom call with people from Columbia who were trying to calm him and other crazy jihadists down. on this Zoom call with faculty members, he warned that anyone who opposes him, he's willing to meet up and fight, and that he fights to kill. A Columbia employee said, "Do you see why that's problematic in any way?" He responded, "No. I feel very comfortable calling for these people to die." Remember, Professor Schuster, he is talking about what he wants to happen to you, one of the Jewish voices for peace. And you think your safety is bound up in the safety of the Palestinian people. And I'm telling you, if people like this are allowed to enact their agenda, you will not exist. He says, "I think that taking someone's life in certain case scenarios is necessary and better for the overall world." Wow. This kid's a student at Columbia. He'll get a degree, he'll get a job, he'll probably become a professor. We see journalism professors at Northwestern fighting cops. We see you're either an idiot or an activist, most likely, if you're a professor joining these protests. We'll continue to discuss this and more on the Bruce Hooley Show. We are in commercial. Appreciate you guys joining us today. Great to have you with us. Thanks for joining. I got do a little prep here during the break. Oh. Trump back in court today. Probably hit that on the way back. Interesting. I'm playing a Lyme disease PSA in my headset, and I've been reliably told by doctors it doesn't exist. Well, I slept pretty well last night. I like these cool nights, although I'm ready for it to get warm. But I'll still sleep well, even if I take the blankets off, because you know why? It's not what I'm covering up with. It's what I'm sleeping on. Giza Dream Bed Sheets from MyPillow.com. Go to MyPillow.com. My man Jay took advantage of the $25 per item sale the other day. Couple pillows, couple towel sets, washcloths. He's set to go. And you know what? He didn't pay shipping, because if you order 3 items at $25, you get free shipping from MyPillow.com. Only if you use my promo code Bruce. And you can. Feel free. I would love it if you would. You'll love the MyPillow products, whether it's a mattress topper. You can't get that for $25. But you can get a MyPillow for $25, which, I could be jealous because I paid $70 for mine, but I feel like I got everything that I paid for and more. So I'm not jealous. I want you to experience the comfort that I do every single night. So go to MyPillow.com and plug in my promo code Bruce. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. Well, one thing I missed while I was gone the last 3 days was the opportunity to have some fun with Joe Biden's Wednesday campaign appearance in Washington, D.C. Joe Biden was at the podium, and he was talking about the future, and this is what he said. Listen closely. See if you hear what I hear.
What we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Now, he looked a little confused when the people in the crowd started yelling 4 more years, 4 more years. Like, why are they, Dr. Jill, why are they yelling at me? Now, I noted on the official White House transcript, it says, Biden, folks, imagine what we can do next for, and then it says, inaudible. Inaudible means can't hear it, can't understand it, can't hear it. Inaudible, can't make sense of it. One more time. Can you make sense of this?
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
4 more years what? 4 more years. Sounds like he said 4 more years pause. Because that is what he said, of course. 4 more years pause. The pause was parenthetical in his teleprompter, and he read it because he's a very old man. What was the Robert Hur report? A well-meaning elderly man whose brain is mush. I think I ad-libbed the last part. But the White House is actively lying for the president when it says on the official White House transcript that the word pause was inaudible. It wasn't inaudible. We all heard it. He's done this before because he's old, because he's addled, because he's infirm, because he's not capable of doing the job. And he's certainly not capable of doing the job for 4.5 more years. He can maybe make it to November, but he's eventually going to leave the White House in a pine box, sticking us, if he's reelected, with Kamala Harris. Now, this is not the only extent to which the White House is going to great lengths to try to conceal how unable Joe Biden is to handle the physical and mental demands of his job. Axios, which is hardly a difficult outlet when it comes to dealing with the media, notes that President Biden has introduced a change to his White House departure and return routine. Wait, you mean another one? I remember when he used to wear, as any man with any sense of style should, dress shoes with his suits. Not tennis shoes. Now, the ESPN thing, those guys look like clowns. College basketball coaches who wear basketball shoes with their suits, they look like clowns. Okay? Joe Biden used to wear dress shoes like every other president who came before him, all 45 of them. But maybe 9 months ago, he started wearing Skechers or Hokas, all black, so they'd look like dress shoes, but they're not, because the man can't walk in dress shoes anymore. That's not uncommon for somebody in their 80s. My father, before he passed away, found shoes with a Velcro tie to be most comfortable for him. Nothing wrong with it. If you're the president of the United States, though, it's not a good look. And it betrays the fact that you're just too old for the job. Well, now Biden has introduced what should, in this copy, say a second change to his White House departure and return routine. Instead of walking across the south lawn of the White House to and from Marine One by himself, he's now often surrounded by aides. Are they afraid he's going to be assassinated? No, they're afraid, A, he's going to trip and fall, and somebody wants to be there to catch him, and B, what they're really afraid of is you seeing him shuffle and bumble and stumble his way across the grass, because it makes him look, we can't have this, old. With aides usually walking now between Biden and the press's camera position outside the White House, the visual effect is to draw less attention to the 81-year-old president's halting gait that is stiff and labored. Yes, it is. Some Biden advisors have told Axios they're concerned that videos of Biden walking and shuffling, especially across the grass, have highlighted his age. Now, you know what's highlighted his age? Yeah, that and more. Weeks ago, the president told aides he'd prefer a less formal approach. Yeah, sure he did. This was his idea, of course. Since the change, advisors think the images of Biden's walks to and from the helicopter are better, and they expect him to continue to have aides join him as an offensive line to block the cameras. This started in mid-April. In March, they keep track of this stuff because, of course, you never get access to the president. He never sits down for an interview. He never says anything. He still hasn't come out on camera and answered any questions about the campus protest. The only question he'll answer is one shouted at him where he gets half the information he needs to answer from the question. Hey, President, what do you think of the anti-Israel protests on campus? I condemn the anti-Israel. He wouldn't have been able to fashion that out of his own brain for a chocolate chip ice cream cone. But in March, he walked 5 times to Marine One, all by himself or with family members. But wait, starting April the 16th, Biden was joined by staff or lawmakers 9 out of 10 times that he walked to Marine One. The Biden team is convinced this will change voters' perceptions about his age in recent months. No, it won't. No, it won't. Are you really that stupid? Let's hope so. The White House has taken steps to prevent the president from tripping. Yeah, the short stairs. The doctors at the White House say the president has mild sensory peripheral neuropathy of the feet and addled applesauce of the brain, Dr. Hooley says. But his doctor has declared Biden fit for duty. And here's how you know Axios is in the bag for Joe Biden, because the rest of this says... I can't even read this with a straight face. Biden's doctor has released far more information about his health than Donald Trump's team has revealed about the 77-year-old ex-president, who, I might add, took a cognitive test as president, which Biden steadfastly refuses to do.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. A closely watched barometer of inflation rose more than expected year over year last month. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index up 2.7% last month from 1 year earlier. Former President Trump is back in court in New York.
What a bunch of
Criminal
clowns.
trial continues. Going into court this morning, Mr. Trump said...
Sorry, I forgot to change the header on the...
Anti-Israel, anti-Semitic protests at a Royal College campuses.
I got an idea. Let's have the Secret Service walk in front of him so nobody can take a picture or video of him shuffling and bumbling across the lawn.
Egypt has sent a high-level
That'll
delegation
fix
to
it.
Israel. The hope is to reach a ceasefire deal with Hamas in Gaza.
They could just have Kamala Harris walk along beside him because she's got a butt like a herd of cattle. Nobody can see it.
Platform to break ties with its China-based parent company or face a ban in the U.S. The Dow's up 93 points. This is SRN News.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos. A better, easier way to get term life insurance. All online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-3490. That's 800-275.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Hugh Hewitt weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, followed by Mike Gallagher at 9. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
Worried about inflation, digital currencies, political turmoil, and the future of your investments? It's time to take control with Conservative Wealth Protection Group. During these times, central banks are buying gold and precious metals at record levels. But the question is, are you? With access to the cheapest bullion in the nation, we have a deep understanding of the precious metals markets. We'll reveal strategies that both the wealthy and everyday patriots just like you are using to get the most out of their tax-deferred retirement plans. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, we provide guidance without high-pressure sales tactics. Our No Fees for Life IRA program offers the lowest prices on precious metals, along with tax-free and penalty-free transfers. Explore your options with a free consultation. Call 888-964-4333. That's 888-964-4333. Protect your family and your investments. Call 888-964-4333 now.
Because truth is not a left-wing value, and the left lies as easy as you breathe. You need the clarity and wisdom of Dennis Prager every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
So, I really appreciate you guys' concern for my health. Got some text messages yesterday. That's a good thing. If you want to help me out, well, first of all, you know I sell flooring, so reach out to me, brucehooley.com. Leave your information. You can also go there and find out more about patriotswitch.com, another great way to support me and to get great products for you. Like, why would you put products into your body that aren't healthy for your body? You know, I'm not a climate activist, I'm not climate justice guy, but I am like health guy. And 2 years ago, I started to realize, because of some skin issues my daughters were having, that maybe it had to do with the toxic products in our home. I looked at the label on some of the products and I thought, I don't even know what this is. Are we sure this isn't causing the problem? Thankfully, a friend who had had some of the same issues said, well, we switched to these products and it fixed the issue. So rashes, skin irritation, just general yuckiness might be what you're ingesting. Laundry detergent, cleaning products, vitamins, minerals, toothpaste, all those things. patriotswitch.com. Great way. You can find out more at patriotswitch.com/Bruce or at brucehooley.com. So now Ohio State's in the headlines, and I noticed the other day there's like 60 schools around the country where they've had anti-Israel protests. A lot of them in the Big Ten, by the way. Northwestern, USC, Nebraska, I think was one of them. Did I say Northwestern? Michigan, of course. Michigan's always on the cutting edge of this kind of lunacy. We had 21 people total now have been arrested on the Ohio State campus. Hannah L. Nemmer, Youssef Munir. Well, that's appropriate, isn't it? M-U-N-I-R. Munir? I don't know. And Youssef is a third-year sociology student. Again, boy, way to invest your money in a degree that'll really pay off for you down the road, Youssef. And an activist for climate justice. What else can you waste your money and your life on? And Dr. Sumaya Hamadamad, a research scientist at OSU's School of Medicine, specializing in ophthalmology and visual sciences. He was arrested yesterday. What is it like now that we finally have this on our doorstep, right? Maybe we're going to start hearing from Jewish students, Jewish professors, Jewish residents of areas in and around campus as to what it's like to be Jewish in this time and place. If you live in Victorian Village, you live in Clintonville, you live in the Arena District, you live in areas around campus, you live in the Brewery District, you live in and around campus, you want to live downtown, German Village. What's it like for you? Well, I spoke to a gentleman yesterday. I'm not going to tell you where he lives, but he lives close to campus, very close to campus. And he said his individual instance of harassment started on January the 7th, where he had an Israel flag displayed outside his home. It was taken, his home was vandalized by, he did not know in the beginning. Then later on, more ethnic intimidation. He called the police, and by the way, this gentleman has kept meticulous records of the Columbus police officers that have come to his home to investigate this. He has reached out to, I can't imagine, as he spoke to me, I talked to him for an hour yesterday. I cannot imagine that he has left any avenue unpursued to just get the ability to live his life in his neighborhood without being harassed. He said to me at one point, this was so sad, he said, I find myself questioning everything I do to determine if it's going to make my existence in my neighborhood more difficult. How would you like to live like that? You want to go to the store, you want to go outside and sit in the sunshine, you want to work in your yard, he's had vile things shouted at him from people through car windows. And I said, how do they know you're Jewish? He said, well, I had an Israeli flag displayed outside my home. It was taken, it was vandalized. He's purchased another one. He's afraid to put it up. He was asked by one of the agencies he reached out to, what are you doing to antagonize your neighbors? What are you doing to antagonize your neighbors? This is like the video we saw from Great Britain, where they wouldn't let a guy into a protest because the Bobby said to him, well, you're obviously Jewish. I mean, we would not, and I'm stating the obvious here. Can you imagine if the targets of this kind of harassment were black or gay? Like this gentleman told me that he was told by a law enforcement officer, well, we really can't do anything about this because there's no way to classify what's happening to you as a crime in the city of Columbus. That's interesting. That's interesting because I distinctly remember, and I'm not saying this behavior is at all good or, anything at all. It's a crime. What I'm going to tell you, when someone went onto a porch, grabbed a LGBTQ flag and urinated on it, that's a crime. That's ethnic intimidation. I don't support the LGBTQ movement, but I also don't support violence toward people in that movement or intimidation of people who subscribe to that way of living. Why is intimidation of a Jew for being a Jew, for flying an Israeli flag, how is that not ethnic intimidation? One of the instances of harassment, this gentleman told me, occurred after a snowfall. And there was a clear path from his porch where harassment took place, vandalism was done, a clear path to the perpetrator's residence in the neighborhood. And he says he was told by police that they couldn't follow the footprints because it might incite more violence against him, more harassment of him. This is what it's like. This is what it's like right now. And I cannot believe for a second that this gentleman is the only one who is suffering through this. So what do these idiots want when they're protesting on campus? They're allowed to protest. But when you are told to disperse at 7:30 p.m. and you don't disperse, and then you form a human chain around the outer perimeter of the protest and won't let the police in or resist the police going in, then, well, I'll just say, I've seen videos from around the country of a professor who was doing the same thing at a campus, and a police officer took her to the ground, put her hands behind her back, and handcuffed her, and she kept saying, "I'm a professor! I'm a professor!" Now, this is an interesting mindset. This is an interesting, interesting perspective she has. What is she saying when she says, "I'm a professor"? What she's saying is, I'm intellectually superior to you, therefore you have no right to arrest me because I'm allowed to do anything I want to do on this campus. Well, ma'am, you're not allowed to do anything you want to do on that campus. You must comply with the law. You fooled around and you found out because you got handcuffed, and I hope you spent a very uncomfortable overnight in jail. Do you notice a very common characteristic between these people protesting? They're wearing masks. You can always tell the bad guys because they're the one wearing masks. What are they afraid of outside? They're afraid of being recognized. That's what they're afraid of. Not afraid of COVID. They're not afraid of whatever other cootie they think is going around. They're afraid of being recognized. So what do they want? Besides just to be civil disobedience fools. They are demanding, of course they are, that Ohio State and Columbia and others, I've heard this before, divest any interest in Israel. So all these universities have huge endowments. They invest their money. They grow their endowment. As their endowment goes up, do they lower their price to students? Of course not. That wouldn't be a good business model. Couldn't pay your football coach $10 million if you did that. Couldn't buy a safety from Alabama for $1.5 million if you did that. Problem is, with the divest from Israel thing, it's against the law in the state of Ohio. Ohio Revised Code prohibits universities from divesting any interest in Israel and prohibits adopting or adhering to a policy that requires divestment from Israel or with persons or entities associated with it. That comes directly from the spokesman for Ohio State, Ben Johnson. So what they want is not possible to be done without being in violation of the law, but they don't care about the law. They don't care about being in compliance with the law. We'll tell you what some campuses have done to contend with these protests in very creative ways next on the Bruce Hooley Show.
Low 60. Clouds tomorrow morning, partly sunny by the afternoon. The high tomorrow 77. Breezy on Sunday morning, partly sunny and warm. The high 82. Partly sunny, warm day on Monday. A thunderstorm in a few different spots. The high 82. Rain and a thunderstorm on Tuesday morning. High Tuesday afternoon at 78. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hi, it's Hooley, and I cannot wait for spring and summer to arrive. Can't wait to get back outside and tend to the landscaping. Gives me quality of life. But you know what? When you have those aches and pains, it can be a real bummer. If you're in the same boat that I am, maybe a little elbow, hip, joint pain somewhere, I'd like you to consider an awesome non-surgical option that I have a ton of faith in. It's called QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics helps your body do what God designed it to do, heal itself. It's advanced regenerative medicine where they take the platelets in your body and concentrate them and give them back to your body in the area where you're having pain. That's why I say QC Kinetics helps your body do what it's designed to do, which is heal itself. You can go the conventional medicine route and be tethered to medicine forever and endless doctor's appointments, or you can call QC Kinetics and get the relief that thousands of others have. Call QC Kinetics today at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-349-8877. That's 800-349-8877. 800-349-8877.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Hello, my name is Jim. I'm a very outdoors, active type person. With Balance of Nature, it sure has helped me feel really good every day. The fruits and vegetable ingredients, I think, is the whole foundation of what makes the product so good for me. I'm looking at the future, and I do not want to stop doing what I'm enjoying. With the product, I know I'll be able to continue it. I feel great. Can't complain about anything.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHARLIE.
Headmaster Hull here from Dublin Classical Academy. At Dublin Classical Academy, we have the tuition-free solution to relieve concerns about the current public education system. Dublin Classical Academy is the first Hillsdale College-supported tuition-free school in Central Ohio. It's a content-rich, classical liberal arts education that includes instruction on moral character and civic virtue. Visit DublinClassical.com for more on how to enroll your child for free at Dublin Classical Academy. Dublin Classical Academy, classical education, tuition-free.
Well, a warm weekend means maybe a little grilling out on the deck. RiverbendRanchSteaks.com stands ready to ship right to your door. Every month or every other month, whatever steaks you would like to have for that Saturday evening barbecue. New York strip, ribeye, filet mignon, or just good old-fashioned ground beef. You know, I know there are other meat services out there. I know that you can get Good Ranchers, Omaha Steaks, Moink, lots of others. Let me just tell you, Riverbend Ranch Steaks are better. No hormones, no antibiotics, everything USDA Choice and Prime. And the process at Riverbend Ranch is controlled start to finish. Birth to butchering to being dry aged, flash frozen, and shipped right to your door. So you can do with inferior products and pay more for them, or you can get great products and pay less for them and thank me later. Go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So I'm a big believer in setting expectations and then holding people to those expectations, clearly delineating what you expect someone to do, and if they don't do it, holding them accountable. That is the approach of Ben Sasse, former U.S. Senator, now the president of the University of Florida. They started to congregate and protest at the University of Florida, and so they had university officials there hand out a sheet of paper. And right at the top, it has the University of Florida official logo, Division of Student Life. It says allowable activities: speech, expressing viewpoints, holding signs in hands. Prohibited items and activities: no amplified sound, no bullhorns, sorry. No demonstrations inside buildings, no littering, no camping, no sleeping, no blocking egress, no disruption, no threats, no violence, no weapons. And then it says at the bottom, consequences for non-compliance. See, you set the expectation. Individuals found responsible for engaging in prohibited activities shall be trespassed from campus. In other words, helped off campus. Students will receive a 3-year suspension. Employees will be trespassed and separated from employment. Way to go, Ben Sass. Good job. Now at Harvard, where they've allowed this nonsense to proliferate too long, this may have been an accident. It may not have been. I actually think, what's the word? Serendipity, when something happens and you didn't really plan it, but hey, it worked out great. Last night, an alert went out across the Harvard campus. Breaking news, sprinklers have been set off on students at the Harvard Liberated Zone for Gaza Solidarity. Some tents are flooded at 4 a.m. in 32-degree weather. You know, if I'm Ted Carter, I'm looking at that South Oval and I'm thinking, you know, I think the grass is just not coming in thick enough. I think we need to water that bad boy. And I'd bring in the fire trucks and I would spray the grass, not the students. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get wet? Oh, well, you know, the South Oval is a place that is very beautiful and as a thoroughfare for campus, we just want to beautify it. And if you happen to get in the way of us watering the South Oval, then so be it. So be it. Now, not every school, of course, is handling this well. Here is what they've decided to do at USC, which is fold, give in. This is utterly egregious. They have at USC canceled graduation. Now, let's go back in the Bruce Hooley Show time machine to 2020, where if you graduated in 2020, 4 years ago, and you're not a slacker who goes to college and is unable to graduate in 4 years, you would now be ready to graduate college. In 2020, we very well know that a lot of high school graduates, probably most, were denied a public graduation ceremony. Oh, we had the drive-by graduations and wave and grab your diploma on the way out graduations because of COVID. Now these kids are in college and they've applied themselves and they are ready to graduate. And at USC, they were told yesterday in a campus-wide email that they will not be graduating because USC has decided to cancel graduation because it's just too dangerous with all the Palestinian protests. Here is a young lady who just found out. She didn't get a high school graduation, and now she's not going to get a college graduation.
This is so, like, it's actually comical at this point. If you don't know, the seniors that are graduating college right now are the seniors that graduated in 2020, where we didn't have a high school graduation, and a lot of us had, like, drive-through fake graduations or no graduation at all. And now we are seniors about to graduate, getting ready for our first real graduation, and it just got canceled.
So how many more ways can we do wrong by these kids? How many more ways? We stole their high school, the best year of their high school experience, we stole from them. We are well on our way to, from young women like this, stealing things that give them fulfillment and encourage them to develop values that will serve them better in life. like delayed gratification, working toward a goal, uniting as a team. Now we're going to let boys play their sports, and we're going to let boys go in their bathrooms and do whatever they want to do. Now we're going to take their college graduation away from them. USC is not an easy school to get into. It's not a cheap school to go to. But because we've got a few hundred nut jobs, we're going to let them dictate to us what we can do. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. The reason I'm not surprised is because schools have long ago proved themselves to be cowards and activists, more so than educators. And they're doing it more and more and more every day. The Columbia president, Nemet Shafik, is in the news. People are calling for her to resign. She's trying to split the baby here. She's trying to thread the needle. She's not pleasing anybody. I don't know if she should be dismissed for her actions here with the protests or not. What I know is she should be fired because she's a plagiarist. A plagiarist. She has written one paper that has been published. And if you're in academia, like getting a paper published is like, it's what you do. Like that's how you get to become a university president. But remember, Claudine Gay at Harvard hadn't had a single paper published by anyone. And when Chris Rufo started looking into Claudine Gay's academic credentials, he found out they were bogus, they were phony, they were plagiarized. Guess what they found out about Nemet Shafik? Here's the one paper she's had published. I'll read you just a quick sentence from it. While data remain a problem, the situation is much improved, and this paper takes a first step at systematic analysis of what data are available. Now, let me read you a paper from 1992. And the sentence is essentially the same. The relationship between economic growth and environmental quality has been a source of great controversy. I can't get to the rest of the paper. Wait a minute, here we are. I didn't page forward. Here's the rest of the, here's where she lifted it. While data remain a problem, the situation is much improved, and this paper takes a first step at systematic analysis of what data are available. It's word for word, and there's more. The same is true at UCLA, where the dean of their, wait for it, DEI program has been found to have lifted thousands of words from her dissertation that she got an advanced degree from the University of Virginia for, thousands of words from 10 other authors, 4 of whom she never cited. Rufo and his team at City Journal made UCLA aware of this earlier in the week. There has been no response from UCLA about this, and she remains in her position. All right, that'll do it. Hope you have a great weekend. Wow, big numbers watching on Twitter and everywhere else. Appreciate that. LinkedIn, you guys are great. Hope you have a great week. Again, if you live in Central Ohio, you need flooring, go to my website, brucehooley.com, fill out the flooring form. I'll reach out to you. Patriot Switch products are really good. I'm not kidding about that. They are awesome. The body lotion, the deodorant, the mouthwash, the toothpaste. Why buy it from a woke company, Unilever, Procter & Gamble? They put junk in their products. They fill it up with water, benzene, nitrates. It's awful for you. Trust me, a dude who has cancer but is feeling great and has, like, from my MRI yesterday, no evidence of ongoing cancer. It's because, you know, that old saying, you are what you eat. Well, you are what you eat. You are what you wash your clothes in. You are what you clean your countertops with. Take responsibility for your life. You're not going to pay more for the products. You're just going to have them delivered to your home. Save you a trip to the store. Gas prices where they are. It's a win-win. PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce or go to BruceHooley.com. You can fill out the form. We're going to have Matt Mayer coming up. Opportunity Ohio We're going to talk about Nationwide Children's Hospital having a crazy person as a mental health advocate, a drag queen as a mental health advocate. Yeah, you seem sane. You're dressed up like a garish woman, but you're a dude. Some good people are unwittingly being duped by this. And I will talk about that at 12:35 today. So if you want to hear Matt, or you want to hear that discussion about Nationwide Children's and some of the biggest names in Columbus sports and in Columbus business who support this nonsense unwittingly, I choose to believe unwittingly, then you can watch the second hour of the show at the Bruce Hooley Show on Facebook or the 9890 Answer Facebook page, or you can listen to it online at 9890answer.com. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.